We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, political, liberty of thought, expression, faith, belief, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, fraternity assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give ourselves this Constitution. So this is the preamble to the Indian Constitution. We the people of India. It means Constitution comes from the people of India. Then after providing all the objectives, it provides adopt, enact, and give ourselves these Constitution. It means Constitution is made by the people for the people, and this is nothing but democracy. Now, Constitution was adopted on 26 November 1949 and it was applied from 26 January 1950, and that's why 26 January is our Republic Day, because Republic means which speaks for people, which is for people, and Constitution came in operation from 26 January, and that's why we celebrate 26 January as our Republic Day. Now, as you all know, Constitution, while making Constitution of India, help is taken from lots of other countries or from the Constitution of various countries like United States, Canada, Russia, France, Ireland, and then UK's law. Preamble also is adopted from some of the nations. It is borrowed from USSR and from France. The ideals of justice, that is social, economic, and political, which is provided in the preamble, is borrowed from the Constitution of USSR, today's Russia, and then the concept of republic and ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity, it is borrowed from the Constitution of France. Objectives of the Constitution were drafted and moved in the Constituent Assembly by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru on 13 December 1946. It was enacted after the enactment of the entire Constitution. So technically speaking, it's not an introduction to the Constitution. It is a crux of the Constitution. And do you know why this is done? To maintain consistency with the entire Constitution. So our preamble is totally consistent with our Constitution. United States, they first made the preamble and then they made their Constitution. In case of India, first the entire Constitution was drafted and enacted, and then preamble was inserted in the Constitution. So just remember this point. Then the term secular was added in the preamble afterwards by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Now there are three important questions which are asked in relation to the preamble. Question number 1 is whether preamble is a part of the Constitution or not. Plain answer to this is yes. Preamble is a part of the Indian Constitution. Now second question, whether preamble is a part of basic structure of Indian Constitution. Answer is yes. Part of a preamble is a part of basic structure of the Indian Constitution. Now question number 3 is whether preamble can be amended. Answer is yes. Preamble can be very well amended. So these are the basic things about preamble. Now let us discuss our preamble in detail. Our Constitution is divided in 4 important parts. Part number 1 is about source of the Constitution. We, the people of India. So, which is the source of power behind the Constitution? It's the people of India. Constitution comes from the people of India. So, source of the Constitution is people of India. Now, second important part talks about nature of the Indian Constitution. and that is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. So this is the nature of our constitution, which is provided by part 2 of the preamble. We are going to discuss each and every part in detail, but first let us go through 4 important parts of the Indian constitution quickly. Then afterwards, objectives which are aimed to be pursued by the constitution are provided by the preamble. And what are they? Justice, social, economic and political. Liberty of thought, expression, faith, belief and worship. Equality of status and of opportunity, and fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual. So these are the objectives which constitution wants to pursue. These are the objectives of our constitution. And then adoption. So it is provided that it is adopted on 26th November 1949, and then it came into application on 26th January 1950. Now let us go through each and every part of our preamble. The word sovereign is provided in the preamble. So what is the meaning of sovereign? Sovereignty means supremacy. Sovereign means supreme. Before independence, India was not sovereign. It was a British colony. It was a colony of some sovereign nation, or it was a colony of Great Britain. After getting independence, India became sovereign. Sovereignty means a country which is capable to maintain internal peace and security, and which is capable to protect itself from foreign aggression. So that is sovereignty. Is India a sovereign country? Yes, India is a sovereign country. We have our own army, navy and air force, and we are able to protect our borders from foreign encroachment. So India is sovereign and it has its own rule inside its territory. So this is the meaning of sovereignty. Ruling inside the territory and protecting itself from the external boundaries. So this is the requisite of sovereignty, and India is a sovereign country. Now next feature which is provided in the preamble is secular. Lots of countries in the world, they have their national religion. For example, USA is a Christian country. China is a Buddhist country. Pakistan is a Muslim country. UK is a Christian country. But India has no religion of its own as a national religion. All the religions are equal in case of India. Do you know what is secularism? State will govern relationship between an individual and other individual, or a human being and a human being. But state will not regulate relationship between human being and his or her God. So it is called secularism. State will be neutral in case of religious matters. So is India a secular country? Yes, India is the only secular country in the world. Now, democratic. What is the meaning of democracy? We the people of India give ourselves this constitution. So it is government of the people, by the people and for the people. So whether India is a democratic country? Yes, it is a democratic country. And in democracy, representatives are selected by universal right to vote. In India, we have universal right to vote, adult franchise, by which people after getting 18 years of their age select their representatives, and their representatives represent them, and that it is called democracy. And then what is republic? Republic is not something which is against democracy, but which supports democracy. In India, we have indirect democracy. Like people, they are not directly involved in lawmaking, but they select their representatives, and representatives make the law for people by representing people, and it is called republic. So in India, we have indirect democracy, which is republican. The next thing is justice. Indian Constitution intends to provide for justice. Which type of justice? Social, economic and political. Now what is social justice? Social justice means every person in a society, irrespective of his social status. Social status means his caste, his religion, his place of birth and the other societal facts. He has equal right to get justice from the courts of law. That is social justice. Now what is economic justice? Every person in the society, irrespective of its economic condition, he must be able to get justice, and that is economic justice. And what is political justice? Any Indian citizen can contest the election, and any Indian citizen has a right to vote. So that is political justice. So justice, social, economic and political. Then liberty of thought, expression, faith, belief and worship. So liberty means freedom. So which types of liberties are provided by the Constitution or by the preamble? Liberty of thought and expression. You have a right to say anything, you have a right to write anything. So that is thought and expression. And then faith, belief and worship. You can worship any god and you can practice that worshipping, you can propagate that. So that is liberty. And then equality of status and of opportunity. So every person is equal in front of law, whether rich or poor or a minister or a common man, they are equal. So equality of status and opportunity. Every person gets an equal opportunity in employment irrespective of his gender or economic status or the other grounds provided. And then fraternity means universal brotherliness, assuring dignity of an individual. So these are the objectives which are pursued by the Indian Constitution. You should be able to express meaning of each and every term which is included in the preamble. Over here you are not required to go through each and every case law, just the important ones will do. There are 3 important case laws as far as preamble is concerned. In Ray Berbery, it was provided that preamble is not a part of the Constitution. In Keshwanand Bharti, it was provided by the court that preamble is a part of Indian Constitution. And in S.R. Bommai's case, again it was provided that yes, Constitution comes with the preamble and preamble is a part of the Indian Constitution. So what happened in Ray Berbery? It happened in 1960. The Supreme Court said that the preamble shows the general purpose behind the several provisions in the Constitution, and it is a key to the minds or to the makers of the Constitution. Further, where the term used in any article is ambiguous or capable of more than one meanings, some assistance or interpretative type of help can be taken from the preambles. But despite that, preamble is not any provision in the Constitution, and so it is not a part of the Constitution. So in Ray Berbery, it was provided that if there is any confusion while interpreting any article of the Constitution, then yes, help can be taken from the preamble, because preamble provides for the aim of the Constitution. So yes, you can very well take help from the preamble while interpreting any article, but preamble is not a part of an Indian Constitution. It is provided in Ray Berbery case. In the next case, which is Keshwanand Bharti's case, it is provided by the Supreme Court that preamble is a part of the Indian Constitution. Court observed that the preamble is of extreme importance and the Constitution should be read and interpreted in the light of the grand and noble vision expressed in the preamble. The explanation provided by the Supreme Court: the preamble may not be the essential part of the ordinary statute, but it is essential part of the Constitution. So for other statutes, it is not a very important part of the statute, but for Constitution, it is a very important part of the Constitution. Supreme Court admitted it has been adopted by the Constituent Assembly in the same manner as the other parts. So Constitution is made by the Constituent Assembly and the preamble is also made by the Constituent Assembly following the same rules. The motion by which the preamble was adopted said, the question is that the preamble stands part of the Constitution. The preamble was enacted after the rest of the Constitution was already enacted. The preamble was inserted at the end of the Constitution. And do you know why it was inserted at the end of the Constitution? To maintain consistency with the Constitution. So preamble is very much consistent with the Indian Constitution. Rather, it is the crux of the Indian Constitution. So yes, it is a part of the Indian Constitution as provided in Keshwanand Bharti's case. Judgment of Keshwanand Bharti is again respected in S.R. Bommai's case, and it was provided that yes, preamble is a part of the Indian Constitution. Now the next question, whether preamble is amendable that your constitution can be amended under Article 368 of the constitution itself. So whether preamble can be amended like the rest of the constitution, so let us see what happened. Same case is there, Keshwanand Bharti's case. An interesting argument advanced in the case. It has been moved by Justice Y.V. Chandrachud that the preamble may be a part of the constitution, but it is not a provision of the constitution. Therefore, we cannot amend the constitution so as to destroy the preamble. Discarding the submission by Justice Chandrachud, Supreme Court held that it was impossible to adopt the contention that the preamble is not a provision of the constitution. It is a part of the constitution and it is not outside the reach of the Constituent Assembly. Keshwanand Bharti's case is a milestone and also a turning point in the constitutional history of India. Justice D.G. Palekar held that preamble is a part of the constitution like any other provision of the Indian constitution, so it can be very well amended under Article 368, but part of the preamble which relates with the basic structure of the Indian constitution, it cannot be amended. Now again you will ask me a question, ma'am, 42nd amendment inserted secular and socialist in the constitution. Yes, it was inserted, that amendment was made, but it didn't destroy the basic structure of the Indian constitution. In fact, these two objectives go along with the entire constitution very well, and that's why that amendment is not against the basic structure of the constitution, or it is not against the spirit of the constitution. So in short, preamble is a part of the Indian constitution. Preamble can be amended under Article 368. Basic structure part of the preamble cannot be amended by the constitutional amendment. So this is everything about the Indian preamble. For MPSC and UPSC candidates and for LLB students, this much information is enough. If you want to know more about Indian constitution or preamble, I'll be putting one more lecture for LLM students. You can very well follow that lecture. So stay tuned till my next lecture. Goodbye and good luck.